Clemson Tiger defense.
Different approach, Dusty, on that series. A lot more man, a lot more different looks as opposed to zone previously where they were getting picked apart.
Porter Wilson in his 5th year as the starting punter. Boots it away for Duke. Antonio Williams has to back up inside his 20 to get it. Williams dragged down at the 20-yard line. Replaced Brent Venables, longtime D coordinator, now the head coach, of course, at Oklahoma. 2 men back for Clemson. Antonio Williams backing up, hit inside his 5, able to break a tackle, but finally brought down at the 8-yard line. So Clemson backed up after a 54-yard punt.
Get the football back in Cade Klubnik in this offense's hand.
Porter Wilson on to boot it deep to Antonio Williams, who made a mistake in the first half, fielding a punt inside the 10, and heard about it from Dabo Swinney. Cost him serious field position. Good boot here, a lot of hang time.
Getting off the field by this Clemson defense. Clock not on their side as it continues to tick down.
Porter Wilson will boot it deep to Antonio Williams. Boy, they could use a good return here to give Clemson a short field, knowing that the clock is not on the Tiger side. But an excellent punt over the head. It sticks at the 5. Will it hang? No, it rolls into the end zone. 70-yard punt, about 65 on the fly. Duke still in command, 21-7.
So Porter Wilson on to punt for Duke. First punt of the day for the Blue Devils. A.J. Henning standing back with his heels on his own 26 for Northwestern. Wilson with a good kick. Henning from his own 18. Makes one man miss. Runs into his own man and then gets dropped at about the 14. Flag on the play. Couple of them.
I mentioned Jordan Moore. He was a quarterback when he entered Duke. In fact, moved last fall camp from quarterback to receiver. The coaches say he's doing a much better job at the subtleties of the position as Porter Wilson is in the punt. Brent Buckman is the returner for UConn, calls fair catch, and makes it around the 6.
And able to disrupt that pass play for a first down.
So Duke had a run there in that second quarter, which again has been that trouble spot for UConn. They finally get a second quarter stop. Porter Wilson in the punt. This from about the 5, Ross to the outside, and Ross to about the 23-yard line.
Had Jordan Moore open across the middle and just kind of overthrew him that time.
So Porter Wilson for his 3rd punt. Brent Buckman is back to return. So UConn does their job defensively to begin the second half, but Buckman bobbles it. He's had trouble receiving punts this year. He had 2 muffs against Georgia State.
Chris Tyree will return the punt from Porter Wilson. Tyree driven back to his own 34. Tyree's got great speed. He's looking for the corner, and Duke does a good job getting him on the ground before he could hit that sideline. But this
3rd down, and I think he's seen a different 3rd down look every single time.
Porter Wilson, who had a poor punt last time, he did unleash a 70-yarder earlier this year against Clemson. And Notre Dame put a little heat on that one. Much better than the last effort. Tyree makes the fair catch just inside his own 25-yard line.
operating a 2-minute drive.
And Coit here, the sophomore, will have to look up into the rain to field Porter Wilson's punt. That is a good one. And he's going to give ground here, and it's going to check. And the Blue Devils are going to touch it up at the 5. So Porter Wilson got that ball to stop on a 56-yard punt that puts NC State 95 yards away. This looks like one of Hasselbeck's 60-degree offers right here.
I knew you were going there, but Wes, that checks up perfectly. You mentioned it was a good one. He boomed that, and if it's the rain that checks up, but that's a big special teams play.
Porter Wilson.
I mean, how about the special teams in general for Duke so far?
Yeah.
Really struggling offensively. Like they're not doing much against us, and so because of that, look, I'm going to try to manage this game accordingly.
And Coit makes a play on a dangerous bounce off the punt from Porter Wilson, and is hit promptly right there. And Duke will have to punt with Porter Wilson here.
You know, obviously not a great drive there by Duke, but I think as you just look at what the plan was, and you know, talking about Tyler Santucci and the job that he's done with that Duke defense. Well, I think Kevin Johns had a pretty good plan with a quarterback making his first start, who's only completed a few passes. At the same time, they've been able to find ways to really run the football. And I think some of it has been with some unique formations.
Porter Wilson and Coit will ask for and make the fair catch.
Field.
Porter Wilson's a good punter, got a great average, but you don't want to outkick your coverage when Keon Coleman is back there returning punts. The star receiver loves playing special teams. Never did it until this year, and he can house it. High snap. Wilson gets it away. It's a heck of a kick. Coleman backpedals to the 15, gets around the corner, makes a cut, and a flag comes out as he's stopped short. A 60-yard punt by Wilson. Probably felt a burst of adrenaline, Kirk. He had to go up high to get the snap.
He got up to be able. I thought that was on its way, maybe going over his head. I thought, man, just good job to secure it. And then he hit a bomb.
Yeah.
It's going to drive him crazy for a week.
If I could add one other thing, if they would have gotten the snap off and didn't make it, they would have had a substitution penalty against the defense because they had more than 11 out there.
There you go.
Porter Wilson drives Coleman back. No fair catch from the 6. Keon Coleman.
I'm coming the whole way.
Wilson to punt. Keon Coleman. Again, such a dangerous, electric punt returner. Hasn't made a huge impact tonight as a receiver yet. Wilson, long boot. Coleman retreats to the 25 and just slipped as he tried to get going and be spotted down right there at the 26. 59-yard boot by Wilson. No.
By the way, but a great start for the Cardinals on defense.
Porter Wilson, terrific punter. 4-year starter. Duke 4th in the country in net punting. Kevin Coleman, the return man. And he's down at the 29-yard line. 51-yard punt and an 8-yard return. Third punt for Porter Wilson. His 44th career game as the Duke punter. His 44.3 career average, best in school history. And this is a good one, well located at the 11-yard line. Caught, and now Louisville could get greedy perhaps.
Correction, 18 seconds on the game clock.
I think you go all out block. I mean, right now, a bunch of Louisville defenders up there, and see if you can't block this punt. It's going to be really important for Porter Wilson to get this thing off quickly.
Kevin Coleman back deep, transfer from Jackson State, played for Deion Sanders last year. Low snap, but Wilson handled it. Coleman tackled immediately, very well covered by Duke's Jalen Stinson. 49-yard punt. Around Brian Parker, the fill-in left tackle. 4th sack for Louisville. And as we mentioned a few times, Duke had given up 5 all year. Fewest in the ACC and 5th fewest in the country. Coming in, 48-yard punt by Porter Wilson. Oh, that should be a good one. Who you liking that one?
I like Tyson Fury. I will never, ever pick against Tyson Fury. He's unbelievable. He's 7 foot to move the way he does or whatever it is. He's something.
Wilson's punt rolls down to the 2.
Porter Wilson, he's been the punter here for the last 4 seasons. He'll kick it deep to Taylor Morin. Morin at the 25, he fair catches it. So a couple of punts, punt of 54.
And late, get the pressure on the quarterback.
So Porter Wilson punting to Taylor Morin. Morin fair catches at the 12-yard line safely for Wake Forest.
He didn't read that exactly the right way. But they want to keep making it simple for him.
Charlie Ham to punt, ranks 4th nationally in yards per punt. That's why. Check that Porter Wilson.
Yeah. That's distance and hang time right there.
That was every average we warned you about Porter Wilson. That's why he's been here for a while. We're back at
make these tough catches for a young quarterback to help him out at times.
So Porter Wilson to Morin, 4 second-half possessions, 4 punts for the Blue Devils. They're going to try to pin him deep and play defense. And Morin at the 10 after a punt of 37. So Wake Forest with the ball, 13-19 left in the game.
Hitting those timing routes against man pressure.
So Taylor Morin.
Almost fumbled that right there.
Yeah, it was not a clean exchange. Morin at the 13. And a punt of 49.
Now here's the analytics. These punting going back and forth. This was almost a disaster. You look at him right here. Oh, whoa, that would have been scary.
Lesser athlete would have dropped it. I mean, it's cold out tonight. That ball changes.
It gets slick now. And those kicking balls aren't always, they kind of try to sub in a kicking ball every once, and they're a little slicker. They're worn down and rubbed down. But now it's Griffin's turn to come out here.
An incompletion, even though they're a little late doing that.
Yeah.
I think that's why it stands, but certainly doesn't take away the effort by Rucker.
Porter Wilson, they're going to fake it. He's going to throw here to the near side. This is Terry Moore, and he'll have the first down. How about the converted running back, Terry Moore, catching a pass from Porter Wilson? And ran through a Cedric Gray tackle.
Well, with the guts of the call. You know, Mike Elko certainly talked about having to steal a possession, but steals possession by getting the ball to Moore in the open field, and it's a good job of making a defender miss. Looks like a converted running back. And what a big call by Mike Elko in a big game.
In total defense and scoring defense, they need a spark that could give it to them. Great play by Famu.
Sudarian Harrison makes the fair catch call and brings it in at his own 24-yard line. FBS level. He's a pretty good high school quarterback, too.
Yeah, he's a well-balanced player, 90 tackles, but he's got 8 pass breakups, too, so he can make plays in the pass game and against the run.
Returnable. Harrison breaks the tackle, and a flag flies late.
Hey, what do they say? You get your hands on it, you got to catch it.
That throw is tailing out of bounds a little bit. It's just the second incompletion for Loftus. And Duke's all-time leader in punt average, Porter Wilson, gets off another good one. But it's returnable for Sudarian Harrison. There's a couple flags on the field as Harrison changes direction. And he's taken out of bounds around the 47.
Here's the punt. Devonshire to field it. And he drops it. Tries to go over the shoulder. Now headed towards the sideline and taken down at the 20-yard line.
Has to have touch, but also you have to be able to throw with accuracy on that one.
Porter Wilson skies a punt over the head of MJ Devonshire. It bounces at the 1, and Duke is going to be able to down it inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. Curtis Cooper downs it. And a good play there on special teams by the Blue Devils.
Yeah, this is what Coach Elko talked about last week. They're net punting. Today, already better with a heck of a punt right there down in inside the 5.
Jabri Barber back to receive this punt from Porter Wilson. Even though they picked up the first down, that was a quick possession for Duke, lasting less than 2 minutes. A fair catch taken inside the 5 by Barber.